is the Hamantashen.
No, you're wrong. The Lanka.
Lanka?
Yes, the Lanka.
No, it's not the Lanka. It's the Hamantashen. It's the stickers and notes on your face.
Well, yeah. Well, let's just don't worry about it. Sing a song.
Okay, we'll sing a song. Answer the question.
Which one is the best one, Lucky?
Hamantashen. Hamantashen.
Lucky the big. I like Lucky's. Lots of Lucky's. They're golden brown. I got them. With sour cream and apple stuff, the taste is a vanilla sauce. I can eat them all day long, 'cause Lucky's are the best.
Answer the question.
Which one is the best one, Lucky?
Hamantashen.
Hamantashen, Lucky the big.
Hamantashen, they are so sweet. They're full of stuff that's great to eat. Latkes are greasy. I eat them on queasy. Sometimes even sneezy. They make me uneasy.
Yeah, right.
Hamantashen are the best. Come answer the question.
Which one is the best one, Lucky?
Hamantashen.
Hamantashen, Lucky the big. I once heard a story about a doctor who claimed that eating Hamantashen affects the brain. The more you read that doctor says, you're liable to wind up dizzy. All that real feeling will go to your head. So eat potato latkes instead.
Rather dead.
Yeah, right. Lucky's are the best.
Come answer the question.
Which one is the best one, Lucky?
Hamantashen.
Hamantashen, Lucky the big.
Hamantashen, they hit the spot. You can put them in your pockets. Like as not.
Wait!
With so many different flavors to choose, if you eat Hamantashen, you just can't lose.
And it tastes just like glue.
Hamantashen are always in fashion. Hamantashen are the best. Come answer the question.
Which one is the best one, Lucky?
Hamantashen.
The Lucky.
Hamantashen.
It's a Lucky. Lucky.
Hamantashen, Lucky, debate. I won.
It's new, it's different, it's exciting like you've never seen before. This year's Purim Shpiel is called the Lyin King. And it's about a king who just couldn't tell the truth. And you might recognize the music. It's from that movie with a similar name. What's it called? Right, that's it, the Lyin King. And you can sing right along. We have runners coming out, and I think you know what to do with them. And I'd like to get our cast on here up onto the stage. We have actors and singers from
stepped into the sun. There's more to see that can never be seen, more to do that can never be done. There's far too much taken here, that fortified that can never be found. But sun's rolling high through the sapphire sky, it's straight and small on the endless round. It's glorious and bright in a path of true sun, through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our friend on the path of winding. In the town of Shushan. Way back, when long, long ago, there lived a king by the name of Ahasuerus. It seemed that no matter how hard he tried, he could never convince his subjects that he was telling the truth. Everything he said was proven wrong, and every promise he made would never be kept. He really had a credibility problem that was larger than many a modern-day politician. He couldn't figure out what was wrong, because he really didn't think that he was such a bad guy. But he had a big problem, and he had to find a solution to his problem. So he began to think, and bingo! He had an answer. He would get married.
The king called together his court in order to let them know that he found a solution that would bring him favor among the people.
They were delighted with the good news because they wanted to see the king get married. They wanted to see that for the longest time. They all asked the question, who would be the future queen? That was the one thing that the king did not consider. So they all began to think and think of who would make the perfect queen for Ahasuerus. Perhaps you might know someone. Esther, maybe? Great idea! But how would the king know that Esther, a nice Jewish girl, even existed? Well, lucky for the king, that in his court was none other
other than serve burnt puddings. And he suggested that they have a beauty pageant. Believe it or not, everyone agreed. So they all left that place to go out and spread the word to everyone in the kingdom that the king would be holding the first and hopefully the only queen for a lifetime pageant.
The news of the pageant spread very quickly and reached the ears of Mordecai, who was a very good man.
Mordecai had been raising his niece since she was a very little girl. He only wanted the best for her and decided that she would have a very good chance of winning the pageant. She was not only a beautiful girl on the outside, but she was a beautiful girl on the inside. And the king would have to notice that as well. So Mordecai ran home to convince Esther to enter the pageant, which wouldn't be easy since Esther was a member of one of the earliest women's organizations, the NCJW, No Contests for Jewish Women.
And even before Mordecai could reach the front door of his house, people were beginning to assemble in the center of the town of Shushan. Everyone wanted to witness a beauty pageant, and everyone had their favorite candidate, whom they hoped would be the king's choice to be queen.
Unbearable, guys. Women were fainting. Men were biting their nails. Men were biting their nails. And small children were weeping in anticipation of the gorilla in the Megillah. The king raised his hand, and the first contestants arrived. They expressed their sincere desire as to why they wish to be queen for a lifetime.
Everyone beware. Just try sometime to challenge me, but only if you dare. I wanna be the main event, like no queen was before. The pressure of us will be down down to the floor. I'll have my servants paint the palace green. Oh, I just can't wait to be queen. Stand up from the crowd, and I will
prepare for the wedding of the century.
You would think that things would have gotten better for King Ahasuerus, but his reputation for not telling the truth remained. Despite the fact that the people loved Queen Esther, nothing changed in the way the king did business. Every time a decree was made or a proclamation was given, nothing ever got done. The promises of the king still were not kept, and the people were very disappointed.
One morning, the king awoke and decided to call all of his advisors one by one to his palace. After he had spoken to all but one, he felt it was time to summon his number one advisor, the most powerful man in all of Shushan, second only to the king himself, a man who could make decisions for the king and see to it that all the king's proclamations were carried out, just as the king would want them to be, a person trusted by King Ahasuerus, that he was above suspicion, for he surely had the king's best interest in mind. At least we think so. That wonderful, kind, generous, unselfish, trustworthy person was none other than Haman. King Ahasuerus entered, and Mazel and Tov slinked back into a corner of the room. Haman reached his king, and the two begin to discuss the problems that are facing the king. The king tells his trusted advisor that he has interviewed his entire court and has no idea who is behind this scheme to discredit him and continue to make him look bad to all his people. He so trusts Haman. Everything that the king has done in order to see to it that nothing happens or that the wrong things happen, making the people angry and distrusting of the king. The king asks his right-hand man to see if he can find out who is behind this plot, which could threaten his kingship. Haman. Haman bows low. Bows low. And the king leaves the room.
Mazel and Tov are summoned to draw closer to their evil boss. Haman! Is delighted that his plan, which has been long time in coming, is showing signs of success. He is ready to put the final plan into effect and achieve the last step to take all power from the king. This is his big moment, and with every big moment, there needs to be a big song, and this moment is no exception.
Your powers of redemption are as weak as our cruel-hearted king. This law, pay attention and listen to the words I will sing. It's clear from your very candid expressions. The lights are not all on upstairs. exalted, but you'll be rewarded when left high and given my dues. And justice deliciously squared, be prepared.
Yeah, we'll be prepared. Yeah, we'll be prepared. For what?
To the death of the king. No fools. You're going to kill him.
Hey, big deal. Who needs a king? No king, no king, na na na.
You idiot! There won't be a king.
Hey, you just said.
I will be king! It's great that you'll soon be connected to a king who makes headline news. Conveniently, while I'm at it, I think I'll get rid of the Jews. The point the pitcher's littered with prizes. Let's make up my own lottery. The point that I must emphasize is the Jews are history. You really want to say true? Be prepared for the murkiest scams. Meticulous planning, tenacity standing, decades of denial, to simply allow the king undisputed, respected, sorted, the glorious wonder heaven! Just my evil ambitions are there, be prepared. Yes, my evil ambitions are there, be prepared.
Haman leaves Mazel and Saul to ponder. Let's go back again. Haman! To ponder what they have been ordered to do. What they don't know is Mordecai, who just happened to be in the area, has overheard the entire evil plan. And as they leave, they pass Mordecai and are recognized. Mordecai can't believe what he has just heard. The problem is that he only recognized the two henchmen, but never saw the man who was giving the orders. In any event, he needed to do something and do it very quickly. He decided that he must tell his niece, Queen Esther, and she could warn the king, and so off he ran.
As part of the evil plan of Haman, a date for the destruction of the Jews has been picked. A lottery has been established, and the date is the 13th day of the month of Adar. The 13th day of the month of Adar has been drawn by none other than Haman. So there should be no misunderstanding. Haman has gone to see the king and explains to him that he has discovered the root of the king's problem. It is none other than the Jews who have been making him look bad to the rest of the people of the kingdom. They have been spreading lies about the king and changing all proclamations and decrees that have been posted around the kingdom. King Ahasuerus finds this very hard to believe. He thinks to himself that Queen Esther has just informed him that a plot against his life had just been made. He even entered Mordecai's name into the official book of records for the good deed that he had done. And was Mordecai not a Jew? But maybe Mordecai was an exception, and it really was the Jews who were the root of his problem. He could think of no other explanation, and agrees to let Haman
of ultimate authority, so he could not be questioned regarding any decisions made in this matter. How very expensive. They both go their separate ways.
Hey, man! Has wasted no time in putting his plan into operation. The decree for the destruction of the Jews has been posted all over the land of Shushan. Hear ye! Hear ye! Hear ye! Hear ye! Hear ye! Hear ye! All across the land, to this proclamation that I hold in my hand. Better listen up, all near, far, because something's going to happen on the 13th of Adar. This comes from the mouth of our glorious King, so you best pay attention. This ain't no Lyin. With life and death have to do. If you happen to be one of the Jews, heed my advice. Better make tracks. Take only what you can carry on your back. Get going now. Waste no time. But if it isn't of discretion, you will pay.
The Jews begin to gather around the decree, and they're shocked and frightened to learn that if they have not left Shushan by the 13th of Adar, that all of their possessions will be taken, and that they would be harmed. They begin to discuss the situation among themselves. There are those that believe the proclamation is just an idle threat. They believe that throughout history, the Jews are always being blamed for everything that goes bad. They try to convince their fellow Jews that the king will not do anything to them, and that everything will be Hakol Beseder. Everything will be okay.
Hakol Beseder. What a wonderful phrase. Hakol Beseder. Make no passing craze. It means no worries. Everything is okay. It's our problem free. Philosophy. Hakol Beseder. When she was a young warthog, when I was a young wait a minute, I was never a warthog. Yeah, I know, but they all know the words because they seem right away, get the picture, let's get on with the song. She found that her king lacked a certain appeal. He left it to Haman. He made every deal. I'm a sensitive soul. This has happened before. And it hurts that our king won't settle the score. And oh, the shame. She was ashamed. Thought of changing my name. What's in a name? I got downhearted. How did you feel? Well, it could always be worse. Hakol Beseder. What a wonderful phrase. Hakol Beseder. Ain't no passing phrase. There means no worries. Everything is okay. It's our problem free.
drawing to a close, and as Shabbat approaches, the people begin to be prepared to welcome the Sabbath. The fathers and the mothers take care of the last-minute details so that everything will be ready. And the children get excited because Shabbat is such a wonderful time, and it only comes once a week. And they will be able to play and have the full attention of their parents. As night approaches, they all begin to pray the prayers that have been prayed for thousands of years. And as they welcome the Sabbath Queen.
Just at that moment, Queen Esther arrives. She is wearing old clothes so that the people will not recognize her. Mordecai has sent for her. She is the only person he believes who can help the Jews. He doesn't believe that everything will be all right unless something is done. Mordecai sees Esther and goes to her. Mordecai begins to explain the terrible situation that now faces the Jewish people, Esther's people. It seems, however, that Esther doesn't believe that the situation is as bad as Mordecai believes. For some reason, Mordecai senses a change in this girl whom he has raised since she was a little girl. And he tries to reach her with this beautiful song.
I can see what's happening. You don't have a clue. You're so caught up in being royalty, you've forgotten you're a Jew. The sweet caress of Shabbos, there's magic everywhere. And with all this enchanted atmosphere, disasters in the air. Can't you feel the love tonight? The peace that Shabbos brings. The world for once in perfect harmony with all its living things. So many things to tell her, but how to make her see the truth about the king? Impossible. She'd turn away from me.
He's holding back, he's hiding, but what I can't decide. Why won't he tell me all there is to tell in me? He can't confide. Can't you feel the love tonight? Like that Shabbos brings. The world go on in perfect harmony, all its living things. Can't you feel the love tonight? You needn't look too far. Stealing through the night's uncertainty, God is but if your heart should turn from us, it can be us soon. We'll disappear and fade from history. In short, our world is doomed.
Queen Esther slowly leaves, and Mordecai is very sad that she cannot see what is really happening. He turns to the people who also have realized the danger of the decree against them. Everything will not be Hakol Seder unless they do something. Mordecai explains that there is really nothing to do except leave Shushan and try to find a more tolerant place to live. A place that will be kind to the Jewish people. Everyone agrees that leaving is the only thing to do. sadness in his heart that the girl he has loved and taken care of, the only one with the power to do something, would not do anything to save her people. Mordecai leads the Jewish people of Shushan away from their homes. He leads them, he hopes, away from the danger and to a better life in a new land.
Back at the palace, Queen Esther has not been able to sleep or eat. She can't get the words that Mordecai has spoken to her out of her mind. She wishes that she could help, but she knows that she can't. She can't go to the king unless he invites her to see him. If she were to ask to see the king, or just arrive at his royal court, she could be killed. The king would have to raise his royal scepter and invite her in. She just doesn't have the courage to risk her own life to save the lives of others, even if they are her fellow Jews. The very least she could do is go back to Mordecai and tell him to find another way out of this terrible situation.
When she arrives, there's no one there. She sees immediately that the people have left in such a hurry that they have left many of their possessions behind. It is an awful and painful sight. Esther finally realizes what is happening to her people. She now understands that she is the only one with the power to save her people. She realizes the most important thing. This was the real reason why she was chosen to be queen. God wanted her to do all she could do, even if that meant risking her life to save the lives of others. In this song, young Esther becomes the great heroine of the Jewish people. Queen Esther turns to go back to the palace and confront the king, she has the feeling that someone has been watching her. The feelings were right, because hiding nearby was none other than that evil Satan!
Tells Esther that he has heard everything, and he has no intentions of letting anyone, including the queen, stand in the way of him taking all the power away from the king. He tells Esther that she will not have the chance to tell the king anything, especially if it means that the Jews will be saved. His plan will succeed, and she will have to deal with him as the most important, powerful person in the kingdom. He tells her that she will be going on a little trip until the destruction of the Jews has been completed.
Just at that moment, King Ahasuerus, who has followed Haman, comes out from his hiding place and surprises everyone. Haman tries to make up a story about the queen, but the king interrupts him and tells him that he has heard everything. He goes on to say that he had trouble sleeping during the night and that he had sent for the royal book of records. He was very impressed to read that Mordecai was inscribed in the book because he had exposed the plot to bring him to the king. The king explained that he owed a great debt to Mordecai, which he had never paid. He went on to say that Mordecai did not know who was behind the evil plot, but now it was quite clear who would be punished for all the evil things going on in the kingdom of Shushan. The king tells Esther that he has a surprise for her. She would not have to come to him and plead for the Jewish people's lives. He had heard enough, and he had already sent for Mordecai and the rest of the Jewish people. King Ahasuerus publicly cancels a decree that would destroy the Jewish people. He then announces that Haman will be punished for life for the evil that he has done. He further decrees that there will be a public celebration in honor of Mordecai, who saves the king's life. And finally, he praises Queen Esther for her courage and loyalty to her people despite the danger that she faced. The king finishes his speech by apologizing
wonderful stagehands, Allison Snow. Pamela Marr and Deborah Arnowski. And Rebecca Lindenberg and Carol Machino and Donna Smith helped an awful lot getting us prepared. So everyone, thank you. All the kids in the cast were the fourth graders and up, and they were wonderful.
Kelsey?
And I'm sorry, I'm still getting over how wonderful
Kelsey.
it was. Rachel Vaughn played the wonderful flute solo.
And let's give a great big hand for Lindy, who did the whole thing here.